Last time we left this with the leaves just having a wash of various greens over them, and it was allowed to dry. Before I started today's session, I decided to mix a colour for what I call crevice darks. Now, these are the darkest points in the whole painting. Here, here, here and here, for instance. I've mixed that, it's this colour here, which is a mix of indigo and permanent magenta, very similar to what we mixed as the cool dark when we were doing the flowers. So I'm still keeping the harmony together. The reason for putting these darks in to start with is that it gives me an idea of the darkest darks, so I can gauge more easily the tones that I need for the rest of the leaves. Once again, it's a bit boring to watch all of this in slow-mo, so I shall shut up and carry on. The leaves are painted using a mix of wet into dry and wet onto wet, depending on whether we need hard or soft edges. I'm trying to retain some of the lights, and I'm mixing negative painting, which is painting the areas behind the leaves, and the positive painting, painting the leaves themselves. More attention is being paid to the area around the poppies in full view, and it goes into more of a soft focus around the edges. Right, I think it's time we did the background. I have mixed up some more of the green colours and the dark green, a bit of the dark warm red and more of this almost black colour, which is quin magenta, indigo and a touch of lemon yellow. I want to try and make the background fairly dark, but opposed to the just plain grey that's on the photograph, I want to try and make it look as though there might be some hint of something else in the background. So I think I'm going to do it in a couple of passes. I'm going to first go in with just clear water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the whole of this area. See, I've turned it round, it's just easier to get at this way round. Not go too close in. Bags of water on here so the colours will flow. I know it will mean that it won't be dark enough in one pass, but it will give me a base colour to work from. Right, have we got that wet? Yes, you can see the water running around on there. I'll let that drip off the corner. Okay, now the bulk of it is going to be the dark colour, but I will have ready brushes loaded with the other colours as well. It's always a little scary at this point. I can see what I'm doing, I'm just randomly throwing this in, trying to keep some nice clean edges. I'm threading in a bit of the darker green in places. I'm more worried if it's going a little bit over this flower here, because that will help blend it into the background. If I take the damp brush and just pull a little bit of that down onto that petal. Wrong brush. A number of times I do that. If I make these edges too solid, it will begin to look like it's been cut out, and I don't want it to do that. I'll feed in a little of this dark red. Even in places some of this bright green. Now, I'm going to leave it at that point. I'm leaving a wet area here so that that will just gently flow into that wet area. Turn it around a little bit, let it flow. Still wet, so I can add some more colour, as long as it's not wetter than what's already on there. Well, the first layer has dried, so I'm now going in with a second coat. This time I'm going to try and attempt to do wet onto dry. This means I can get a darker colour. The important thing to do is to try and keep your colour wet, at least your leading edge wet, considering this like a painting a river, keeping the colour running. It's a little more patchy than I would have liked, but I will once again let that dry. And I will put one further glazing coat on top. And hopefully that will sort us out. This is how the background dried. As you can see, it's not yet dark enough, but I then had a problem with my camera, so I've been unable to record the next session. I put another layer, slightly bluer this time, over the right hand side of the background. I let it blend out slightly over the leaf to the bottom right. Then I decided to put a light wash on the top left hand flowers and leaves, thus pushing those a little further back. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video and that you will press the subscribe button so that you can see my other range of videos. Bye for now.